Hey, how's it going, guys? This is going to be an ad lib, kind of a little bit of information about me, since I have my channel up and everything, to explain a little bit about RBD and my history with it. So, when I was around, this is all secondhand information, obviously, because I was very young, but when I was around 3, 4, around there, maybe even earlier, my parents noticed that I would act like I was sort of awake when I was asleep. If you've seen some of my videos, then you'll know what I'm talking about. They didn't know what that was. So they decided to talk to a psychologist, I guess, about it, which was a mistake. Um, and they had me go into speak with psychologists at like 3 years old, 3 to 4 years old. So, and they had me in there, and they're asking me about my sleep. I remember that. And I remember them asking me about it, and I didn't really know what they were talking about. I'm like, okay, what problems do I have with my sleep? Let me think. Well, sometimes my parents are really loud at night, and they wake me up with, like, parties. So I told them that, and yeah, that I think that didn't go over too well. But when I was saying that, I mean, it was probably like having two people over at like 11:30 at night drinking some wine. You know what I mean? So, but it kind of ended after that. I mean, they still had me talk to like different therapists. Like they cycled me through therapists because I didn't have anything to talk about. And when you don't talk to a therapist, they're like, okay, well, this isn't the right match. Let's move them on to the next one. All the while trying to find out, I guess, about my sleep, which I didn't even understand what they wanted from me. Okay? So, the thing is with RBD, people don't know that they have it. Alright? The only thing that they're going to know is occasionally they're going to wake up from hitting stuff or stomp in a bed, or, maybe they won't know why they woke up. But they're going to wake up and they're going to be like, what happened? What's happening? I know something's happening. And they're going to be nervous and, paranoid because something is happening, but they can't make the connection to what it is. They just know that something bad is going down, and that's how they're feeling. They're just feeling that, but there's no actual way to make a connection. Unless they're punching stuff and hitting stuff and like, wow, that dream, I punched a wall and that sucked. But whatever. Anyways, let's move forward. So we move forward into my teenage years, where they have me continue going to see these people. Now, the sleeping disorder is causing me, I'm fighting every night. I'm fighting for my life, right? I'm fighting for my life every night. So that carries over into my daily interactions. Whenever someone is a little bit disrespectful, or, the types that, they just want to talk shit to people just because they like to do that. I'm not the type to do that at all. I never have been. But when people do that to me, I get, relying on what I've been doing in my sleep, I definitely get defensive and start to get ready to fight if need be. Not that I'm going to attack anyone. Don't take it that way. But I immediately become defensive, like the person could attack me. Pretty much every time. That's how I deal with a lot of social interactions. If there's any like confrontational type, even slight confrontational type stuff, I start to go into a defensive mode where I'm getting ready for an altercation, like a physical altercation, at whatever level. It could go to the fucking through the moon level. Not that I would engage in that, but I'm getting ready because I think the person might try to do that to me, because that's what happens to me every night. You see? So it carries over like that, and it causes big time social issues. That's what I'm talking about. Well, I won't go into that here. Let's move further. So now they see these types of interactions with me in daily life. And when I'm talking to these psychologists, they start to put me on antidepressants. Let's see, Zoloft. At one point, they had me up to 200 milligrams of fucking Zoloft. I remember being in my backyard with a staff trying to do, you know how you would do a cartwheel, right, with your hands? Well, I'm trying to do a cartwheel on the fucking top of the staff, like on the tip of the staff. Like martial arts kind of fucking kung fu crazy shit. Which was fun, but the fucking on top of that, the Zoloft pushing me to heights like that, it makes my fucking sleep behavior like go through the goddamn roof. the same way I'm running in the backyard trying to do fucking cartwheels on staffs. That's what I'm doing when I'm sleeping now. It's like fucking on overload, okay? Any of these fucking antidepressants like that, you cannot take that. You cannot take antidepressants if you have RBD. It will make it much worse. There's only one that you can technically take. I've never actually taken it myself, but from reading, and if you're listening to this and you have RBD and you're like, damn, I need an antidepressant, the one that you can take will be Wellbutrin, okay? That's from what I've heard. I have not taken it myself, so I can't say with specific first-hand experience, but that's what's written, okay? Anyways, they keep putting me on all this shit. Eventually they diagnose me as manic depressive because I'm acting out so much. You know, my moods are all over the place because of my sleep, you know. So they put me on lithium. I take that for like not very long because you have to do the blood test, and I really have a problem with blood tests. Not so much now. I mean, I can sit there and have a blood test, but when I was younger, man, it was not a good scene. Now I don't like it, but I just deal with it, you know. Just sit there and look away, and it's no problem. But back then I was not down. So I was like, all right, I don't want to be on this. Let's do something else, please. And they put me on Tegretol. So I took the Tegretol, and after a bit, the Tegretol, which is an anti-seizure medication, it made my legs stop flipping out. Like they would like, I guess get large fascinations in the legs, in the large muscles, like my thighs and my calves, and my legs would just start twitching out like that, you know. So after that, I was like, okay, you know what? Screw all this stuff that these people are putting me on. Screw the medical community. You know, screw all this. I'm fucking done. So I cut and run, you know, because they were fucking me up even worse. So that may be happening to you, especially they're putting you on the antidepressants. And if they're not diagnosing your RBD and you're getting wrecked in your sleep and you're totally, like, bent out of shape in your daily life because you're fighting for your life every night, dealing with your social interactions during the day, yeah, okay. So 20 years go by. I stay away from the medical community. My father died of ALS. He was a Vietnam veteran. He died in 2014. It's believed he was injured very, very badly in combat. He took 8 rounds. And then when support fire was called in, they miscalculated and dropped a mortar close to where my father was, and he got hit by shrapnel from the mortar as well, which blew his leg off. They did reattach. It obviously didn't work right anymore. It was basically kind of just like a post when they reattached it. Like it didn't bend or anything. It was just like having like a kickstand kind of thing, you know. Moved a little bit at the hip, but not anything else. The ankle moved a little bit, I think. Yeah. But okay. So anyways, ALS supposedly is caused by trigger events. My personal opinion is that it's caused by trauma or extreme pressure and drive, like the pressure you would feel to survive if you were about to fucking die. And you have that kind of push to push, you know, through that and not give up, you know. Some people will just give up, you know. My father and me, and we're not people that give up. We go until it's the end, until we cannot move, you know, until we can't move. You know, literally, our body will not work anymore. As you can see, he pushed himself hard. He was in a body cast for over a year. Actually, he and my mother met in the hospital. My mother was visiting someone across the hall and happened to see my father in the room over there, you know. And they started talking, and bam, there you go. But yeah, so my father died of ALS in 2014 from his, which was triggered initially by his combat injury, right? Now, REM Behavior Disorder from birth, I just recently found out, is correlated with familial ALS, okay? That's what my father died from. Now, it's not supposed to be possible for that to happen. It's not supposed to be possible for my father to get sporadic ALS. That means it's not in the family line at all. Like, we don't have ALS in our family line on any side. Nothing, okay? Then my father gets it from the military, and now I have it. Probably. I mean, I have all the symptoms. I have the twitches. I have the RBD from birth. I've had the muscle weakness recently. It's looking like that's what it's looking like. All right. So it's looking like my father got sporadic ALS from the military, and it became familial, and he passed it to me. Now you can make the connection to what that means if I'm correct. Okay? Think about that. Think about what that means if I got that from my father's combat injury. Right? Of course, I could be wrong, but I don't think I am. And we're going to see if I end up going down, then there's going to be no question. Okay? And I'm just putting this out here now so people know about it. The government hasn't helped me at all through my entire life. I have severe scoliosis in my back from the REM Behavior Disorder and all the social problems that it's caused me throughout my life, and I've had no support from them. And I definitely feel that they should support it, since it's caused by what happened to my father with him putting in his service for them. And now they're not helping me. And it could be passed on to my son as well. Okay? So that's my story right now, and that's my intro. So there you go. It's not a happy intro. I'm doing all right. I'm in good spirits and stuff. I get frustrated about this whole situation, but there we go. All right, have a good one, guys.